Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I am with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Hello, all.
All right, so I wanted to talk about this for over a week, but my work schedule's been crap. Been working a lot of hours, been too tired, and we've been coming and missing each other too. So finally, I'm off today. We're going to talk about this. Here are my thoughts on the Christopher Eccleston thing. Okay. I don't understand how people have the right to complain. We're going to talk about a lot of different aspects of Chris Eccleston, right? There's been this whole thing. Gary from Nerdrotic, he made a big stink on his thing. Like, basically, Christopher Eccleston backs Jody. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, he feels that.
And that's what he's basically having a little pissy fit about.
Right. Well, besides that, the fact that Christopher Eccleston came out and said that they should just throw away canon because that's what holds the thing down. Wait, big deal. So like he throw away canon so that way you can keep the show interesting. Now here's the thing. Moffat has said this, that there's no canon. Gatiss has said this. Russell T. Davies said the same thing. You don't see Nerdrotic or anybody go flipping the fuck out, cursing them out like they killed your cat. Okay? All of a sudden he feels like betrayed like a lover. Like he got so fucking scorned and upset that if you've seen the video I sent you, cursing him out viciously.
I had to take time out because it's like I'm going like this.
Wow, that was very vicious. I felt.
Yeah,
that was a jump in the shark moment for Gary. I thought, because here's the thing, and I don't mention Gary. I don't. Everybody's in their separate circles. I'm not part of their group. They're not part of my group. I like some of the stuff he said in the past, but I felt he went way too far.
He did.
He totally cursed out. Chris, like, fuck you. He said that like so many times. And I got to tell you, when it was sent to me, I was in shock, right? And I said to myself, why the fuck would you say that? Like, why would you go that far, right?
Yeah. Because somebody wants to stand behind somebody and they go off half-cocked. So come on, dude.
Like, you don't need to fucking go that vicious at Christopher Eccleston. So then, in his anger, you see his video, he starts making up some shit, right? Stuff that we covered in the Real Whovians cast about. He quit. He wasn't fired. So now because one of
the things he didn't want to be, he felt that he was going to be typecasted, which is understandable. And there's other issues that were
there were issues with Russell T. Davies, and he was doing a little too much of putting his own, like, I don't want to come off controversial, but he was putting things in Doctor Who that maybe he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
That, like, you were forcing the issue of the Doctor kissing Captain Jack and forcing the issue of look, that's nice, Captain Jack is omnisexual, whatever, but you started putting stuff in there that about the Doctor a little bit, like maybe leaning to, look, he didn't like what was going on, whatever, he quit, right? Now, he got so ripped apart by the BBC that he had to, we covered this, he had to flee the fucking country, okay? Yeah. He had to do movies like fucking G.I. Joe and fucking Thor 2. Now, like, he wasn't a fucking person that was a problem on set. They made a whole fucking bullshit. He was going to his weight. He was going to whatever, right? We found this out afterwards, right? So we find out, too, that, the BBC basically admitted they fucking fucked him over and they treated him like shit and they wanted him to be on their shows. So they came to a mutual understanding, right? He flat out said Russell T. Davies. Russell T. Davies was professional about it, right? He didn't quit, okay? Christopher Eccleston didn't quit. And then what happened was, we covered this also extensively on the Real Whovians cast, that Moffat did the 50th. He was the showrunner at the time, the writer at the time. He wanted to change canon that the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, didn't just regenerate and then was with Rose. That he had tons of adventures, and he's the one that pushed the button to kill women, children, men, billions of people on Gallifrey. Now, we also covered the fact that he was, he had a contract. He was like a nice payday. The moment he read it, he's like, wait, what? I'm the one that kills them all? No, I was the one that mourned because the previous incarnation killed them all. which was me, and then I couldn't accept it, and I was miserable, and I was depressed, and everything, and Rose helped me to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't my doctor. Like, his doctor is famous, you know, everybody loves him because he brought Doctor Who back from 2005. It was short-lived, but it was memorable, right? It was beloved. Everybody loved him, right? He's like, I'm not going to be that doctor that fucking kills women and children and men, like, kills my own people. That's not me, right? So the money was great, all right?
And remember, he even said he was even still mourning them in his first Dalek adventure as well, which proved he was not the one who pressed the button.
That's what I'm talking about. So he quit, left, because it was never about money with Christopher Eccleston. It was about he loved Doctor Who so much, and his doctor was not going to be tarnished. We covered this so much.
Good Lord.
It was ridiculous. We had like maybe over 25 different people on here at different times talking about it, maybe 50 even, right? We covered this to death, right? It's Moffat's fault, right? He's the showrunner and the writer. Now, we also were against him too because he fucked up the count, the regeneration count, to suit his purposes. When Neil Gaiman already stated as canon that Mr. Clever looked into the memories and realized, oh, there's another regeneration. He can force me out of his consciousness because the Doctor can regenerate, right? So Moffat he fucked everything, and he make it like there's another Doctor. Now you're making it like, now you fucked up the whole regeneration count, first of all, okay? And you tried to explain it. You didn't explain it right because now you contradicted your own writer. So the whole point is that he had another regeneration. It wasn't that fucking, he was done, right? So you're trying to make, now you fucking do it where there's a Doctor we never heard of, which I'm going to tell you right now, if you watch fucking Night of the Doctor, okay, he was beyond regeneration. He couldn't regenerate, okay? So you mean to tell me that you basically gave him another regeneration, okay? That's my fucking thing, because the whole thing was that potion, right? When the mission was done,
it had burned out of the system, basically.
He would regenerate. Okay, so that thing you put in there was something that was put in between the 8th and the 9th Doctor. The 9th Doctor was always coming as Christopher Eccleston, but you supplanted something in between, a regeneration in between, that when the mission was done, he would regenerate.
If you think about it, it was similar in effect. I can't remember the time. I don't remember the episode. It was a DS9 adventure where there was an extra Dax, but because the dude who they put him in was so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, they pretty much, I don't want to say erased, they subverted the memory so she wouldn't remember it.
Now the War Doctor wasn't hurt,
and she had to use that person who was pretty much practically evil to find out who was doing all these killings. And that's pretty much in gist of what was going on with the War Doctor.
So the War Doctor wasn't hurt. He wasn't killed. He wasn't stabbed. He wasn't nothing. He's in the TARDIS. All of a sudden, you don't even know he's regenerating. He's like, oh, I'm regenerating. Okay. Like, basically, because that potion was a regeneration that had a specific mission. It was, and I'm going to tell you right now, even if they come out and say that was bullshit, that he wasn't stopped from regenerating, that they just lied to him and they put their own doctor in there. They kind of tricked him into becoming a fucking warrior, right? They created that doctor. That was their doctor. That was their thing. Even though he had the consciousness and everything, that was their thing, right? Like, I don't understand how you could, like, the regeneration doesn't work, but then you give him a potion and it works. It didn't. To me, it was always a separate regeneration, and I'm gonna keep it to that day, right? Also, the thing with David Tennant, when David Tennant didn't fully regenerate, right? He used up regeneration energy, right? Yeah. I never counted that, because you can never count it because he never changed his face, right?
He didn't regenerate.
Right.
They're redirected towards his hand.
But you shouldn't lose the regeneration.
But it's not, but that was not technically a regeneration.
Right. So, and technically, the regeneration energy, that one regeneration, still with Donna Noble, because she used it at the end. She used it at the end of time to blast the Masters out of there, right? So she has one regeneration in her, a full one regeneration, right? But anyway, he got Moffat fucked up with the count with the fucking whatever because it was clear Neil Gaiman said basically the Doctor could regenerate. Still. So, but Nerdrotic, he goes to blame fucking like Christopher Eccleston for ruining the 50th because he's so. Here's the thing, I would love to find this out. I probably never will. I honestly think that Gary was not mad at Christopher Eccleston at all. I feel that maybe he transferred his anger over other things in his life, right? Maybe moving a million times, maybe his wife's business closed. Like, they had to move because remember her business closed, that sucks, right? Everything, maybe a lot of money, like maybe he's mad at the world and he just, Christopher Eccleston's an asshole. Like, boom.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Like, that was it. Christopher Eccleston did shit. He didn't do shit.
He just went in, played his part, and did his best.
But you've never seen Nerdrotic just do a thing also like, fuck this guy. Like, I was like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? So, it clearly fucking backfired. Like, nothing. This is the first time.
Yeah, isn't it funny how before his little, for Jody, it's like, oh, Chris Flexon's such a neat guy. And then after he came out with his support, that's when he totally flipped the switch and
like, what the fuck? Yes. I felt Nerdrotic jumped the shark. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't think he's... So, now the story continues because I made a couple of videos. Now, of course, I'm into forgiveness and I'm into peace. You know that. Like, I forgive a lot of people and it's like, okay. So, I'm not going to say, like, me and Lee, problem being, we're just talking. Like, talking in the DMs or whatever. I'm not saying we're fucking whatever, but I'm just saying, like, we're not enemies, whatever. So I went to him and I was talking about a few different things, right? It wasn't even Doctor Who, it was like a whole bunch of different things, right? And then the last thing I said was, because I know he's close with Gary and he's close, they want to be part of Gary's group or whatever. And I talked to him about it. He's like, why don't you just talk to him on Twitter or go on the public thing and talk about it instead of talking to me about it. I'm like, fine. Now, when I went to go on there and I said what my 2 cents basically, right? Now, Gary didn't answer me as far as I know, but immediately Lee, problem being, was all in that. So I thought, oh, this was a setup because now you're answering him 20 times and Gary's not even talking. Yeah. So you just lured me into like a trap.
Pretty much entrapment. Yeah.
And then he's talking shit like he didn't know I was going to come here. Then he says, "Oh yeah, I told you to talk to Gary, so I kind of sent you here." But then he makes an accusation that I came to his DMs with hatreds towards Gary.
No, you did not.
I did not. I was talking to him a whole bunch of shit.
Come in.
I was talking about a whole bunch of shit. I was talking about a whole bunch of shit in the DMs, and then all of a sudden, the last thing I said was about Gary. So I'm not going to say he's a fucking liar because that's going to start a war. I'm just going to say he's not telling the truth, basically. I mean, it's the same shit, but the thing is, I see that he was looking for drama, in my opinion, right? Now, we're not going to get into this whole another fucking round 2 or 3 or 5 because this has nothing to do with Noel. So I'm going to tell you right now, it has nothing to do with Noel, but I just felt bad form, Lee, to that. I mean, we could talk about it, but what it is. We were talking about a whole bunch of different things. So I didn't come to your DMs looking to start shit with Gary. That was the last topic we talked about out of all the topics we talked about.
Yeah, because if you were there to actually diss him, that would have been your first or second.
No, so that was a fucking setup, and I didn't like the way that it went down. And yes, it's a public forum, but if I'm talking to Gary, and I'm going to talk to Gary, and he said, don't bother you about it. Why are you fucking answering 5-10 times? Because obviously you do want to talk about it, but in a public forum so everybody can see. But but people didn't see what actually went down because we were talking in a private DM, okay, about other topics, friendly.
Yeah.
So, like, that was my point. I don't like bullshit, okay? So, if you're going to spread bullshit lies on fucking Twitter, say the fucking truth, because I didn't go to your DMs about Gary. We talked about a whole different subject civilly, and then I talked about Gary, and you said you don't want to hear about it, go talk to him. But then you get but if you don't want to hear about it, right? If you don't want to hear about it in your DMs and go, why are you answering me? in a public fucking forum of Twitter about the same fucking subject because it was a setup and it was a trap.
I smell entrapment. I'm sorry. Yeah. It smells like entrapment to me.
Sorry, Lee. You could respond and come on here, but that's kind of fucked up, buddy. I thought bad form, but anyway. So Chris, another thing, other people now are making thumbnails. I know Rabbi makes thumbnails, crazy thumbnails, where really talking about Christopher X and charging money for photos. But here's the thing I don't understand. Hey, Vaughn, how are you?
Hey, all right. How you doing? Hello. How's everyone?
Good. We were talking about Christopher Eccleston because recently Nerdrotic came out and started cursing out Christopher Eccleston on a stream, out of character, flipping out, cursing him out like he's a piece of garbage because Christopher Eccleston said he backed Jody and also that they need to throw out Doctor Who canon. So immediately, out of character, and I've never seen Nerdrotic do this, he says, F Christopher Eccleston, piece of shit, this, that, and he starts talking smack, where he's always praising Christopher Eccleston, starts talking shit, and basically sending, creating such fucking hatred that you would think his group would go hate Christopher Eccleston now, or his subscribers would go, but it fucking backfired up his ass, because everybody was supporting Christopher Eccleston after that. So I was just unhappy about it. Yeah, go ahead.
See, I mean, okay, here's my thing with that. Is that, okay, well, you have to understand that Eccleston and Jody worked together on a couple of things. And I don't necessarily, he's right. Okay, here's the thing. And this is what people are having trouble with. He is right to his own opinion. Yeah. We may not like his opinion, but his opinion is valid. If he has that opinion, then that's his opinion. And I just think, okay, I don't necessarily agree with throwing out the whole canon, because that means that your performance will be thrown out with that canon. Because now you're saying that every person that played Doctor Who before Jodie is invalid.
Right.
You are saying basically that I don't give a F anymore. I think I'm with Jodie. They going in the right direction. Let's throw out everything that I have done, that Tennant has done, Capaldi done, Davison, Baker, the other Colin Baker. All these people that came before you have put their heart and soul to this world, and you just said, okay, well, you're not valid no more. This is we are in a woke world. You're not valid no more. And I'm like, you have to play. You just pissed on a group of people, a group of old school Doctor Who, people that supported you throughout your run. And now you're saying that you cannot, if you're going to support her, be tactful about it. Because now, even though Nerdrotic could have just been tactful with his response to that. I mean, because you do have a lot of new people that just came in. And let's be real, they just came in on Jodie. They have no clue what the other 50 years is about.
There are new people, correct. There are new people. Yeah,
there are new
and
people.
And if he just said, okay, I don't agree with Eccleston's decision and left it at that, I think nobody would have had a problem with it. But the fact that he went off half-cocked about how I hate him because blah, 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 then that's where he pretty much cut his own throat.
Two wrongs don't make it right, and he should have. His fan base is mixed with new ones and with old school ones.
Right.
But you have to play. You have to be at neutral with this, because Eccleston. I like Eccleston. Eccleston is just a phenomenal actor. He is really, and then he's back on Big Finish, so I'm very excited about that.
I saw that.
I want to listen.
I'm very excited about that one. And he got shafted really hard by everything. So I mean, he has a right to feel this way about that, because of the circumstances that he went through when he had the role. Correct. Now, if Nerdrotic is wrong, yes, because he should have been more tactful and consider his fan base. You have to be neutral, because you have a mixed group now. Now, if this was all old school people that really like us, then that would have been fine. But you have people that's coming in. What he should have done is like, okay, he should have been kind of like, get them on board with the old school stuff.
Yeah.
Tell them not to, that it's just hard because Elkerson is kind of wrong for that statement, but in the end of the day, you have to do tact because you have a bigger audience, and you have to play the field. You can't just go off on that, and you can't go off on an actor that he meant. I'm pretty sure that Elkerson kind of meant well by that statement because he does support Jodie. They have worked together.
He does like Doctor Who though too. That's another thing. People make it like you don't fucking give a shit.
Yeah, he does. Why? Okay, if he didn't give a shit, why he's with Big Finish? He could easily.
And if he didn't give a shit, he quit the 50th because he didn't like that Moffat was going to make his doctor kill women and children pushing the button.
Yeah.
So he walked away from a nice payday. I don't think people understand that.
Yeah.
And that's a man that pretty much understands what Doctor Who is about. Now, I mean, you can't just go off on people. You have to really that's the problem with the world today. You have to understand where people are coming from.
Cancel culture bullshit stuff.
Yeah.
Culture.
And they go after him about the photographs, right? They say, oh, he's charging so much for an autograph, right? But remember we talked about this plenty of times on the cast that I was going to go to a convention in New York, right? Mm-hmm. Matt Smith and David Tennant was going to charge $1,000 for one photograph. And you're going to complain about Christopher Eccleston charging like $100 or $200 or whatever the hell? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? You're creating thumbnails like an asshole about fucking Christopher Eccleston charging money for an autograph. Are you kidding me? They charge fucking ridiculous amounts of money.
Exactly.
How could you fucking say that? How could you localize it? How could you lie like that and localize it to Christopher Eccleston? They charge $1,000 just for a picture with them. One.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
if you went there and if you got all those, you spend like fucking thousands. It's not cheap anymore to go to conventions.
No, it's not.
You need to have money to go. So I'm sorry, I don't go against. You know.
Yeah, I work with him.
But you know what? And then the people coming at me at Twitter like, oh well, Joe, his things in Big Finish suck. What does that have to do with his fucking opinion about anything else? Like, what? Let's just say it did suck. What does that matter? Like, we fucking seen.
Are you saying
we've seen clunkers?
He wants to stand behind Whittaker, or does it actually?
Yeah, what the fuck is this? What the fuck does the Big Finish writing, like the episodes, if they sucked or not, have to do with what he said about Doctor Who canon and liking Jodie Whittaker? Absolutely fucking nothing. It's two different fucking subjects. So who can? I mean, we're gonna listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna buy it. But like John the White's coming at me, he's like, oh, well, his things suck. What does that mean? The fuck does that mean? It has nothing to do with him liking Jodie or whatever. Oh, because it sucks because you're trying to put him down and a character assassinate him because he likes Jodie and he wants Dr. Cannon. So everything he says is bullshit. Just like Neurotic trying to, all of a sudden he's mad at fucking Christopher Eccleston. So, maybe he got fired. No, asshole, he didn't. And this is what gets me, right? Don't motherfucking rewrite history, bitch. If you're fucking mad at Christopher Eccleston, he fucking quit. All right. Nice fucking try, Neurotic. He fucking quit. He didn't fucking get fired.
No,
he did not get fired. Yeah. Compared
Give me a fucking break, bro.
The one who got fired was Capaldi, and I still believe that's the one who got fired.
That was fucked up because it was age discrimination.
Really
oh God!
And you know what? He did the right thing though. He made an announcement when they weren't expecting it. He fucking jumped the gun and he like, oh, I'm out. And then wait, what? Shit, he did it too soon. Because we screwed him over. That's why.
If we really want to talk about who got shafted on Doctor Who, it's Capaldi.
Absolutely.
That whole thing.
He got
fucked.
It's
not Eccleston. Eccleston left.
The guy's ready to go for 10 years. And then a couple weeks later, they say he quits or he leaves. No, they wanted him out. Chris Chibnall wanted him out. He's an asshole.
Yeah. So I mean, you can play to all these, things, but at the end of the day, you weren't about the wrong person, buddy. It was the one that actually gave a damn about the whole series, was a lifelong fan, and look how they treated him.
He did fucking marriage proposals on his on fuck when he's going to eat dinner for free, helping people out with their marriage proposals. Come on, man. Moffat fucking was such an asshole. That I hate certain things that Moffat did, but he fucking tried to blackball the shit out of Christopher Eccleston because he's like an ego, and he's like, how dare he walk away from my script? Fuck him. I'm gonna fuck him good. And you know what? He tried to make it like Christopher Eccleston didn't give a shit about Doctor Who. You know what? And some people believed him, and I was really upset about that because Moffat had say, but it was all bullshit. It was not true. He didn't hate Doctor Who. So stop trying to fucking, because you're a fucking baby and you're fucking egos. This is what got me.
Yeah.
I still think to this day Moffat should apologize for that. That's fucked up.
He ain't though. He is not gonna do it because they think they're in the right.
They do. So this was basically this Real Whovians cast. I want to do many more, but I was wanted to do this for a week. I told Scott too, but I worked so many hours. I'm exhausted. But you know what? Off today, off tomorrow, trying to get caught up with this stuff. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about besides Doctor Who. I don't know if Scott or you guys saw the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I saw this today.
I have not seen it. I didn't know they started that series yet.
Yeah, it's almost done. Next week it's done.
Division.
It's done next week. You saw WandaVision?
Huh?
You see WandaVision?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw.
We'll talk about that in an everything show. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I'll send you the page that I go to for all my shows, so that way you can get caught up.
Oh, I have Disney Plus.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, I got Disney Plus.
Yeah, me too. I got Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, HBO Max. It's getting now the list is getting extensive. All right, we're gonna run out of here, guys. I wanted to do this quick cast. I'll be back in a few minutes. If you guys are around, I'll hit you up, see if you want to do some casts. Because we got so much more to talk about Doctor Who. I mean, I want to talk about WandaVision with you, Vaughn, because I want to get your thoughts on it with Scott. And me and Scott probably talk about Falcon Winter Soldier because I have stuff to say about that. And we got to get Chris later, if we could, talking about Godzilla and other stuff because Godzilla is doing phenomenal.
Yep.
So maybe the MonsterVerse is reinvigorated. So I'm happy about that. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.